So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Divinity and Divine Service, text 23 and 24. We'll start with 23. Sattvam rajas tamaiti prakite gunastarer yukta para purusha eka ihasya date. Stit adaye ariverenshi areti samya Shreyam sitatra kalu sattvatanor ninamsyo. Sattvam, goodness. Raja, passion. Tama, the darkness of ignorance. Iti, thus. Prakriti, of the material nature. Guna, qualities. Tai, by them. Yukta, associated with. Para, transcendental. Purusa, the personality. Eka, one. Iha asya, of this material world. Date, accepts. Sthiti adaye, for the matter of creation, maintenance and destruction, etc. Hari, Vishnu, the personality of God. Virinshi, Brahma. Hara, Lord Shiva. Iti, thus. Samya, different features. Shreyamsi, ultimate benefit. Tatra, therein. Kalu, of course. Sattva, goodness. Tanu, form. Prinam, of the human being. Syu, derived. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The transcendental personality of Goddess is indirectly associated with the three modes of material nature, namely passion, goodness, and ignorance. And just for the material world's creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepts three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Of these three, all human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu, the form of the quality of goodness. Purport. That Lord Krishna, by his plenary parts, should be rendered devotional service as explained above, is confirmed by this statement. Lord Sri Krishna and all his plenary parts are Vishnu Tattva, or the Lordship of Godhead. From Sri Krishna, the next manifestation is Baladev. From Baladev is Sankarsan, from Sankarsan is Narayan, from Narayan there is the second Sankarsan, and from this Sankarsan the Vishnu Purush avatars. The Vishnu, or the deity of the quality of goodness in the material world, is a Purush avatar known as Kshirodakashaya Vishnu or Paramatma. Brahma is the deity of Rajas, passion, and Shiva, ignorance. They are all three the departmental heads of the three qualities of this material world. Creation is made possible by the goodness of Vishnu, and when it requires to be destroyed, Lord Shiva does it by Tandam Vandritya. The materialist and the foolish human beings worship Brahma and Shiva respectively, but the pure transcendentalist worship the form of godness Vishnu in its various forms. Vishnu is manifested by his millions and millions of integrated forms and separated forms. The integrated forms are called Godhead, and separated forms are called living entities or the Jivas. Both the Jivas and Godhead have their original spiritual forms. Jivas are sometimes subjected to the control of the material energy, but Vishnu forms are always controllers of this energy. When Vishnu, the personality of God, it appears in this material world, it comes to deliver the conditioned souls being, the conditioned living beings who are under the material energy. Such living beings appear in the material world with intentions of being lords, and thus they become entrapped by the three modes of nature. As such, the living entities have to change their material coverings for undergoing different terms of imprisonment. The prison house of this material world is created by Brahma under the instructions of the personality of Godhead. But the conclusion of a kalpa, the whole thing is, at the conclusion of a kalpa, the whole thing is destroyed by Shiva. But as far as maintenance of the prison house is concerned, it is done by Vishnu. As much as the state prison house is maintained by the state. Anyone, therefore, who wishes to get out of this prison house of material existence, which is full of miseries like repetition of birth and death, disease and old age, must please Lord Vishnu for such liberation. Lord Vishnu is worshipped by the Vaishnava service only, and if anyone has to continue prison life in the material world, he may ask for relative facilities for temporary relief from the different demigods like Shiva, Brahma, Indra, and Varuna. No demigod, however, can release the imprisoned living being from the conditioned life of material existence. This can only be done by Vishnu. Therefore, the ultimate benefit may be derived from Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. I will be reading also the next verse. Partivadaruno domas tasmat agnis taimaya tamasastrajas tasmat sattvam yad brahmadarshanam. Partivad from earth, daruna firewood, duma smoke, tasmat from that, agni fire, trai Vedic sacrifice, maya made out of tamasa in the mode of ignorance, two, but raja, the mode of passion, tasmat from that, sattvam, the mode of goodness, yat, which Brahma, the absolute truth, darshanam, realization. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Firewood is transformation of earth, but smoke is better than the raw wood, and fire is still better. For fire, we can derive the benefits of superior knowledge through Vedic sacrifice. Similarly, passion, rajas, is better than ignorance, tamas, but goodness, sattva, is best, because by goodness one can come to realize the absolute truth. Purport. As explained above, one can get released from the conditioned life of material existence by devotional service to the personality of Godhead. It is further comprehended herein that one has to rise to the platform of the mode of goodness, sattva, so that one can be eligible for devotional service of the Lord. But if there are impediments on the progressive path, anyone, even from the platform of tamas, can grandly rise to the sattva platform by the expert direction of a spiritual master. Sincere candidates must therefore approach an expert spiritual master for such a progressive march at a bona fide expert spiritual master is competent to direct a disciple from any stage of life, tamas, rajas, or sattva. It is a mistake, therefore, to consider that worship of any quality, of any form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is equally beneficial. Except Vishnu, all separated forms are manifested under the conditions of material energy, and therefore the forms of material energy cannot help anyone to rise to the platform of sattva, which alone can liberate a person from material bondage. The uncivilized state of life, or the life of the lower animals, is controlled by the modes of tamas. The uncivilized life of a man with a passion for various types of material benefits is the stage of rajas. The rajas stage of life gives a slight clue to the realization of the absolute in the forms of fine sentiments in philosophy art, and culture with moral and ethical principles, but the mode of Satma is still higher, a higher stage of material quality, which actually helps one in realize the absolute truth. In other words, there is a qualitative difference between the different kinds of worship, as well as the respective results derived from the predominating deities, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Hara. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Staptam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeyam Shiru Shiyuda Padakamanam Shigum Vaishnavamsa Shirupam Jagajatam Saganaragnatam Pitam Tam Sachivam Satvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Sikrishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakanalita Shivashakam Fitamsa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bano Jyatpate Gopesha Kopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kansna Gauri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhana Devi Pranamama Hripriye Paka Kaltu Vishakhe Pasanabhe Vishapadnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini. Nirvisesha Srinyavadi Paskachai Desatarni. Srila Prabhupada Ki. So the sages of Naimisharanya had asked different questions to Sutta Goswami, and 6 questions, and 2 of them have already been answered. The first question was, what is the Shreya, the ultimate good? And the answer to that was that pure devotional service, Savaipum Sapoda Moyato Bhaktiadoksha Ahadkabatiya Tariyatma Subhashidati, the highest occupation for mankind is pure devotional service, which is uninterrupted and without any material motives and directed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that satisfies the self. And then the second question that has been answered, this was the essence of the scriptures. And that we just have heard in a whole description of the process of devotional service. And that's the essence of devotional service, which culminate in always hearing, chanting, and remembering the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the goal of life, and that's the essence of the scriptures. Now, yesterday, in the last verse, we have heard that the process of devotional service is not a new process. It's there practiced by sages since time immemorial. So everything in the Bhagavatam, that's what we learned after that, is that everything in the Bhagavatam is there to support that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Ete Shamskala Pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Svayam. Is Bhagavan Svayam, is independent from everyone else. And only worship of Krishna, one can attain liberation. Therefore, one should devote oneself to worship of Krishna, not to anything else. We have here on the screen Brihu Muni. Brihu Muni, that originally he was a Brahmavadi. A Brahmavadi is someone who does not know who is supreme. some Brahmavadis mistake Brahman as supreme. That, but then there was a meeting of sages, and the question at the meeting of sages was, who is supreme? And they invited Brighamuni to do an experiment, quite a risky business, to test who is supreme. Who is supreme? Is it Lord Vishnu? Is it Brahma? Or is it Shiva? So he went first to, he went to Brahma, because Brighamuni is a son of Brahma. So he went in without offering any respect. And Brahma became very disturbed by it. So Brighamuni could understand Brahma is disturbed. He cannot be the supreme. And then he went to Lord Shiva, who is his brother. And Lord Shiva, when he saw Brighamuni, he, full of affection, wanted to embrace him. But Brighamuni said, "Oh, no, you are dirty. You are living on a crematorium. You are dealing with untouchables. You have this serpent around your neck. I don't want to embrace you." And immediately Lord Shiva became angry and wanted to kill him, but Parvati begged him to spare his life. And then Brighamuni then went to Lord Vishnu. And when he saw Lord Vishnu, he put his feet on his breast. But Lord Vishnu, when he said, "Oh, I hope you did not hurt your feet, because my breast is so hard." So he could see that Lord Vishnu was not disturbed. But of course Lakshmi was. Since then, all the Brahmins, they are poor. She cursed the Brahmins to be always poor. Anyway, he understood Lord Vishnu is supreme. Because the material world is like a prison, a jail. A jail in Sanskrit is Durga. Yeah. The Durga means difficult to go out of it. To go out of it, who can get out of it? Who can bring us out of the prison house? Is it Lord Vishnu? Is it Brahma? Is it Lord Shiva? But we can understand that, yes, Brahma is the builder, is a constructor. So he can't help you to get out of the prison house. And Lord Shiva destroys the prison house. It's only the one who is maintaining it and regulates the function of the prison house can let you out. But one needs an intimate relationship with the Supreme Lord. And then one can understand that he is in this position. Because Vishnu is the maintainer. He can get you out of the prison house. Demigods, they can only give you temporary relief. They cannot get you out from the prison house. That's not possible, because they are themselves within the prison house under the material laws. So then in text 24 that we read, that there's the point made there is that we must raise to the mode of goodness. That and it's like you have this analogy. You have firewood. Firewood itself cannot help us to do Vedic sacrifices, both for Vishnu. To do the sacrifice, yeah, it must burn. And also not, when it burns also the smoke will not help. It must turn in full fire. And then we can offer oblations of ghee in it. That so one must, therefore, it is said in previous verses, Tato jastamalva kamaloba sayase setaiter inavitam satvestit for prasidati. So one must come to the platform of goodness, raise from tamas to rajas to goodness. So one must come to the fire, otherwise one cannot do the Vedic sacrifices. So the mode of goodness is required. It's required to go to transcendence. So how to cultivate in the mode of goodness? Krishna speaks about the goodness in the Bhagavad Gita. It's a whole analysis that there is goodness is a source of knowledge. There you can understand what's the absolute truth. Unless you're in goodness, you cannot start beginning to understand really what Krishna is. The mode of goodness means cleanliness in mind, in behavior. Keep everything always very clean, externally and internally. So important. Otherwise, one cannot go to transcendence. The mode of goodness must be prominent. Of course, we use the mode of rajas and that, but that's with the purpose to purify us, and then come to goodness, and then do your duty without attachment. So this verse explains that by worshipping Lord Vishnu, you get the best result. Because the ultimate benefit comes from worshipping Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu represents the mode of goodness. Only by worship of Vishnu can one get out of the material world. One must go through this mode of goodness, material goodness, which is still binding, Krishna says. Some dangers are there also in the mode of goodness. And one may think himself better and more fortunate than others, or one may be satisfied. That is false, feeling satisfied in the mode of goodness. And it's dangerous, because one has still this body, which is a machine to give you pain. And that should be understood. We should never forget that every moment it can happen with us, that we are in the hospital and then they put all these these tubes in your mouth, you get on a ventilator, and then you will understand, will be reminded, yes, this body is a machine to give us pain. So only by worship of Vishnu can one get out of the material world. So an intelligent person does not divert his mind to anything else than pure devotional service. But one must not be in the mode of goodness to take up devotional service. In the purport of 24, Srila Prabhupada writes, by the mercy of the spiritual master, one can be saved at any condition of life. I may say I'm too old. No, any condition of life, Srila Prabhupada said, that with the expert guidance of a spiritual master. Because generally in the Vedic system, you must first come to the mode of goodness. And that is the Vedic system. So in the previous verses, it said, if one comes to the mode of goodness, one becomes enlivened. That enlivened. And then one comes to the stage of Bhagavad Tattva. Bhagavad Tattva, that stage, that stage is Vijnan. It's above the state of goodness. In that stage, you can understanding Krishna. So realizing the Brahmanical stage, this is the mode of goodness, that's not sufficient. But Srila Prabhupada, by the mercy, says by the mercy of the spiritual master, at any condition of life, can one be saved from the material condition. So by the direction of the spiritual master, one can raise to goodness. By the performance of devotional service, we become purified. What does it mean become purified? One gets rid of the mode of passion and ignorance, because the most mode of passion and ignorance is the cause of suffering. So by worship of Vishnu, you can get out of the material world. And that's important to understand. So in religion they speak many times about liberation, but first they don't know what liberation is. To understand what liberation is of salvation, you must know that you are not this body. What gets liberated? The soul from the entanglement of material nature. But if you do not know that you are a spirit soul, you cannot attain it. And then you must know who the Supreme Personality of God is, and what his powers are, and how he can liberate you from this material existence. So it requires quite, even for a neophyte, quite some amount of knowledge. But even the neophyte in Krishna consciousness is much higher than the practitioners of most so-called faiths. And why is that? Because even the neophyte devotee has understood, I'm not his body. And Krishna, as a super soul, controls material nature. And that's quite important knowledge. Without that knowledge, we cannot come to these higher realizations. So these are the main points Srila Prabhupada makes in the purport. He says also there are many people, especially in this Kali Yuga, Rajas, the most of passion is. That's the mode of passion which is worshipped by everyone. That they think a person is intelligent if he can get a lot of money, because then he can enjoy. So that is just without intelligence, completely bewildered. That's the mode of passion. And they think they are civilized, Srila Prabhupada writes. But when you are in a mode of passion, you cannot understand who God is, who you are, because lust covers the soul. And that's also an important, no, a very important part of the knowledge of, to make spiritual advancement, to attain liberation and go beyond it. So it's important. Who is in charge? Of course, in Western religions, there is no direct worship of demigods, or also they believe in God and in the devil. The devil, Krishna says, is lust. That's really the enemy number one, which makes us act in a way that will degrade us. So Galdi, under the instruction of the spiritual master, when it comes to the mode of goodness, that's like one must, we spoke about this dovetailing, that's using the mode of passion in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then gradually we become purified. That when we come to sattva, we can understand things as they are. So then when it comes to the Madhyam platform, the neophyte cannot understand. The neophyte cannot understand who is advanced, who is not advanced. Come to sattva, you start to understand things. You become more satisfied. But still, a devotee understands this mode of goodness is also dangerous. If I forget Krishna, I must always connect it. And then we transcend it, we come to Suddhava Sattva, and then we become completely enlivened in devotional service. And come back to our normal state of eternal joy and satisfaction. So that's what I could say on these two verses. So any question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for class. I wanted to ask, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna and Arjuna are speaking, and Krishna speaks about sacrifice to Vishnu. So shouldn't the sacrifice be for Krishna?
Yeah, so that's important to understand. That's explained in the purpose here, in the first purport. From Krishna comes Balaram. From Balaram come Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. That's the Shatravyuha. And from the Shatravyuha, the Sankarshan, comes the second Shatravyuha, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. This Sankarshan comes Mahavishnu, who is the cause of the creation, in the Karnodakashaya Vishnu. And he enters every universe as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu and expands him in every atom as Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. But it's all Krishna. Yeah, all expansions of Krishna. Of course, Krishna is 80 Samskalavas and Krishna is still Bhagavan's form. But all Vishnu forms are within Krishna. So if we say Vishnu, Krishna, the same, that like we worship Tulsi Deva. We say Vrindaya Tulasi Vyai Priya Keshivasya Vishnu Bhakti Padidevi Satya Vachanam. Vishnu Bhakti. It is Vishnu Bhakti in the scriptures. Some devotees say Krishna Bhakti, but that's changing the scriptures. It is Vishnu Bhakti, but it means the same. So in that way, my Guru Maharaj had already you stay to the original text, Vishnu Bhakti. but it's no different from Krishna, and that we have to understand. There is fully is expansions. So therefore, Kshirodakasaya Vishnu, the Antaryami, the super soul Paramatma, is also an expansion of Krishna, and that's not different. But when the devotee becomes purified and passes liberation, then one comes to Asakti and sees Krishna in the heart. The super soul takes the form of Krishna for the devotee. So that is important. That the devotee wants to worship Krishna, not Vishnu, although they are the same. Because with Vishnu you can only worship him in reference. But Krishna, you can worship in Sakya Ras, Vatsala Ras, Madhurya Ras, and it's a more intimate relationship. So that's a bit difficult to adjust in our mind. But Vishnu is non-different from Krishna. And when Gopkumar arrived in Vaikuntha, he saw everyone worshipping Lord Narayan with great awe and reverence. But Lord Narayan knew the heart of Gopkumar, that he was attracted to Gopal. And therefore, just for the pleasure of Gopkumar, he took the form of Krishna, Gopal, with his flute. That's very nice. So they have all the same potency, but Krishna is more intimate with his devotees. Does that help to get that point?
Yeah, but sorry if you don't mind for me to ask another question, isn't Krishna more than Vishnu? Because the story in Srimad Bhagavatam when I think it's the babies that are stolen, or someone is stolen, and Lord Vishnu keeps them because he wants to have audience with Krishna.
Yes, that Lord Vishnu is Shamskala Pumsa. Lord Vishnu has 60 qualities, and Lord Krishna has 64 qualities. Yes, 4 qualities that no one else has. That he has his beautiful pastimes with his associates. He has a relationship with Madhurya Ras from with the Vaikuntha. He plays the flute, and he has his exquisite beauty, which is extraordinary. Yes, that's true. That at the same time, his expansions are non-different from him. That we cannot look at that from our material calculation. He has 4 qualities more, he must be more. That because his Vishnu expansions can also are non-different from Krishna. That you see at the story of Gopkumar in the spiritual world, where Lord Narayan took the form of Krishna. That because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7:26, I know past, present, and future of all living entities. That he knows, but these Vishnu forms also, they have the same potency. But for the sake of rasa, Krishna has his 4 extra qualities. So it's not easy to get to that with our intelligence. That has to be understood with our heart, because it is beyond intelligence. With material intelligence, we cannot get this point, because our brains are material. But when you develop devotion, one can understand this. Does that help?
Yes, thank you very much, Maharaj.
Okay, then. Anything else? Otherwise, we continue tomorrow with the next verse. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhupada, Hare Bol.